Hello, my name is Matt, and this is episode 7. I will be painting some tattoo tipping signs and some graffiti at the art walls at Venice Beach. This episode, I'm going to try to talk more. This really isn't a how-to series, but just me commenting on what you're seeing. Maybe it won't be as boring as just speed painting with music. So every sign starts with a drawing, and then I make a pattern and pounce that pattern. It's not usually my favorite part of the process. I got inspiration for this sign while lying in bed one night trying to sleep, watching videos on my phone of old 1930s, 1940s animation shorts. They were like spooky Halloween, dancing ghosts and skeletons, witches, stuff like that. Cool stuff. And I figured I could adapt it for a tattoo shop sign. And this is what I came up with. I love it. This is definitely one of my favorite signs I've ever painted. And if it doesn't sell, I'm fine with that. Be happy to keep it. I wanted the lettering on the tombstones to have a sunken in, chiseled look. I'm a big fan of the classic antique Halloween art, the old costumes, decorations, and I love doing things that are inspired by that, in that same style. Here I'm adding all of the little texture, the little nicks and cracks in the tombstone. All the stuff that gives it character, makes it look cool. I went with a bluish teal for the skeletons, just to keep things colorful, not just gray, because I feel like that would just get lost in the tombstones. And I'm big on color. I always like to use unique colors. Pretty much all the colors that I use, I mix. Pretty much nothing is straight out of the can. Adding highlights to all the bones on the skeletons. Highlights are always fun. Funner than doing the fill-in, the block-in. It's where the artwork starts to come to life. Because I come from a graffiti background, I tend to put little force fields around everything, like the yellow around the skeletons, the orange around the tombstones. Well, that's what we used to call them, force fields. Just like highlight color around it, like an outlining color. And add the signature. Usually try to put that someplace kind of hidden. Not too obvious, but still want it to be seen so people know that this was something that was handmade and not just printed. It was a windy day at the beach. Cool, but it was nice. I think my favorite part of this footage is the clouds in the background. Had a decent amount of people come up and talk to me that day, and you always do whenever you're painting outside in the public. It's a cool way to meet people, hear how people appreciate your artwork. It's nice. Recently I've been going with a more simple fill, just a solid color. And here I got my picture taken from a professional photographer. He was right up in my grill, but he was kind enough to ask permission if he could take my picture instead of just doing it. Put the little Komodo cat head in there in place of the O. One of my favorite spots to paint in the world. Here's another tipping sign that was a commission. Ricky Ross, the boss. Tip like a boss. This is another one that's kind of clever, Someone looks at it and they might get a kick out of it. Blocking in all the colors is kind of the boring part. Outlining all the features, adding the gems, the bling, and the chain. Put a nice magenta force field around everything, kind of complements the brown and the gold. Some ghetto blasters or Shazams in the background, along with some dollar signs that are in a deep purple, and that way kind of subtle, but it makes for a nice pattern. And that's what this sign's about, getting money. Once it's all done, I slap the seal of approval on the back. And I usually throw in a sketchbook with every commission I get. And that was my 7th YouTube video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be making more.